Fanboy Modeling School.
Here with my man.
Real Name No Gimmicks, also in HD. What's going on, big guy?
I gotta tell you, to all our listeners out there, you hear that? You know what that is the sound of? Take a wild guess. And so the funniest thing happened to you, brother. I know you just want me to say I'm fine, but that's not how this is gonna go tonight. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to take a break from the drinks. I'm going to calm down. Everything's good. I'm going to go for a little detox until this week happened. This is the longest week that I've ever had at this job, and it is only Tuesday. So that's the short answer. That's how I'm doing.
Fanboy Modeling School, RizRadio.com, Riz Radio Live 365. The Fat Mantis Steve, Real Name No Gimmicks. Folks, join the Riz Radio movement by going to RizRadio.com or downloading Live 365. There you're looking for Riz Radio. No need to go further. Music for your next breakup, your home for independent radio. Hey, man, it's Tuesday night again, man. The world is just spinning in it. It's just spinning along, thinking they can do whatever they want, you know, thinking they can live their lives whatever the way they want, and no one checked in with their Uncle Steve. I was outside today, man, and I just saw people doing stuff. And I don't know, maybe I was just having a moment of megalomania where I'm just looking at people and I'm like, look at him, taking his trash out, living his life, not according to the way I demand that he lives it.
Oh man, fascism is gonna be a good fit on you.
Yes, I'm telling you, man, when I rule this great country and turn it into a theocracy, you're all gonna be just fine. The burden of freedom will finally be removed, and then you'll know the sweet embrace of peace.
All right, we are the Fanboy Modeling School. We are having a good time. As you can tell, both the Fat Mantis and your Uncle Steve have had a long week, and we've got a lot to blow off. You got any honorable mentions before we get into the real topics?
Do have an honorable mention. I sent you a video because I forgot to throw this in the main topic. So when it doesn't make it to that point, it becomes an honorable mention. But if we can watch the video at some point, it's amazing. Dr. Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect back in the game.
Back in the game, killing it, crushed it with a preview over on Rumble. Dr. Disrespect now platformed on the place where most people say you go after you've been deplatformed. I just checked his YouTube page. It still seems to be up. I don't know if it's monetized or not. But yeah, man, I went over and looked at the Rumble snippet that he does. Typically, Dr. Disrespect does stuff like this where he'll have like a really well edited reel put together with him narrating some things over it. Last time I checked it, that day it was at like 500,000 views or something like that.
So let me ask you, do you feel that the world, the way you're talking, it kind of seems like it. Do you feel like the world is going topsy-turvy? What was once evil is now good, and vice versa. Cats and dogs are playing together, right? Before Dr. Disrespect was the most canceled man on earth, now he's back in the game. All the most canceled people in the world are back in the game. Liberal media is dying and is losing it. And Donald Trump didn't just win; he overwhelmingly won. What is happening?
I listen, man. It's a weird, not a weird thing, man. So the whole situation with the media, right? Say for instance, MSNBC,
which is one of our stories tonight. We are definitely
one of our stories. So I won't give away the whole deal right now, but their ratings went down when Trump was out of office. By the way, Fox, CNN, MSNBC. So that doesn't surprise me. And in regards to the world being topsy turvy, man, this is the world so many people have campaigned for. Left is right, right is left, up is down. Everything is subjective.
Right. Melanie Mack is based. Now people are like, look at this saintly woman. She's so based.
That
Am I right?
Is deeply troubled. Like, deeply troubled.
Here's what it is. I love her. I love my Melanie Mack. Mel. You know how I feel about you. The thing is if you look into, because she looks in the camera a lot, and when you look into her eyes, what do you see?
I see rage, anger, 2:00 in the morning phone calls. Come pick me up. My mom kicked me out the car by Dunkin' Donuts.
She has burned a dude's car before. I am sure of it. She looks like every crazy girlfriend I have ever had, which is why I'm in love.
Yeah, they're all rolled into one, right? Crazy thing, man, though. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I just want to give a quick shout out to the whole DT Dub TV, aka Berlin crew. I don't know if you know this. Oh, actually, you do know this. I was over on Berlin's show on Sunday. We had a great conversation in regards to Israel and Jewish people still being God's people. It was a very mature conversation, and I'm not being sarcastic. We had a great talk.
I really can't wait to listen to this, because that isn't like an important and like interesting subject that Christians need to talk about. And I really obviously respect your theology, and believe it or not, I respect my man Berlin's theology. You know what I mean? He's known as a gaming streamer, so no one really takes him seriously, but he's got a good head on his shoulders.
And I told him as much, man, how far he's come in regards to, like, with the red pill conversation and stuff like that, and where he's at now, man. Great show, great studio over there. Had a great time. I think you guys were talking about you guys doing something together. We're definitely going to have him on the show, but I just wanted to give him a shout out for that.
That is amazing. And they can find that. What's his
it's a DT Dub TV over on Rumble.
He prefers the Rumble, only on Rumble.
So this past Sunday, an episode of Mic Check, I probably owe some people an apology, and I'm not being facetious right now. Orlando Brown came up in my feed whilst I'm recording the show, right? And I'm in between takes, I'm reading for the next take, just looking at the article, and boom, he literally pops up on my Instagram Shade Room. So I was like, let me see what this is about. Man, we need to stop putting mics in front of these people's mouths who suffer from mental health issues, because he made some wild claims, which we can't play here on Fanboy Modeling School. And if you missed it on Mic Check, you're not going to hit it again. But he made some wild claims about Nick Cannon, man, and they were raunchy, man. He was on someone else's stream doing this, bro, and he went in. He alluded to that Nick Cannon had he had a sexual encounter, and he used Nick Cannon's name as a verb to describe.
No, what?
He used his name as a verb to describe that encounter and alleged that that's the reason that Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey actually split. It's craziness, man.
And so, it's actually funny. It's something you had said years ago to me. You were talking about the party scene and substance abuse stuff, and you said just look, for instance, at anyone who's the life of the party. Anytime you see someone who's the life of the party behind the closed doors, they probably have a substance abuse problem they're not talking about.
Right.
And that has stuck with me, right? And so that's what I think streaming is really held up on.
Right.
That is people are like, that dude is saying crazy things. Give him a mic, give him a platform, let him cook. And early things, Grace Randolph, a bunch of these people are clearly need help. They need more psychological help than they're getting. And what it is no one's doing that. People are profiting off of them.
Did you
People
say
are laughing
Grace
at
Randolph? Did you
yeah, Grace Randolph, absolutely, absolutely, brother. Grace Randolph is definitely someone who needs some help. I mean, I don't want to even tell you her latest exploit because it's totally insane.
Wait, no, please do before we get into the Dr. Disrespect video. I know we're still in intro land here, but please, what's going on with Grace, man?
So check this out. So pretty much everyone and their mother knows that my time to shine now on Twitter is her alter ego. That is when she wants to spill something that her like.
Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah. It's fairly well known. Like everyone talks about it. She uses the same like I'm going to use the fancy word nomenclature. Like her wording, she uses the same writing. She doesn't realize she's speaking like Grace when she speaks like this person. And sometimes she brings up the same topics that were right in her live stream. Right. And so like it's all these things, and so. And just the other day, my time to shine puts up a picture of her, a video of her clip, and it's her just being an idiot. Like she's saying something stupid, like she's like, chirping like a bird or whatever. And my time to shine, who is herself, says, "Oh my God, Grace," because she still thinks nobody knows, and she's like, "Oh my God, Grace Randolph is such a queen." And literally, if you look at the comments, it's everyone being like, "Oh my God!" Someone complimenting themselves on their alt account, and everyone sees through it, and she thinks she has us fooled. And so, this girl needs help.
She needs help, man. Before we get into the video, also, actually.
Actually, real quick, Matt Cat, welcome to the stream. Says Grace needs a husband and some babies. Actually, I do agree with that. Matt Cat is in the house. Shaolin is in the house, and of course, Bex is in here.
Hey, what's up, Bex?
Fangirls for fanboys.
Hey, y'all send Bex some hearts in the chat. Let's do some old school friggin' what was the name of that show I had on Spoon? Request Box Live.
Request Box Live. That was
let's do some old school Request Box Live stuff. Y'all send Bex some love in the chat right now.
Matt says the clip was about James Gunn's little beep. So here's what it is. I could go into that because that's also crazy, but we have limited time.
And before, if you guys ever hear me doing a pause during the video, that's me hitting the stop button and then hitting record. So that's why it sounds like sometimes we have Tourette's, because we're a professional studio over here. But before we get into the Dr. Disrespect video, you said something interesting, right? World's topsy-turvy. Dr. Disrespect was the most canceled man in America. Turns out, like I said, the person that leaked this information about him allegedly having some goings on with some minors leaked it for their own financial gain, because that's what happens nowadays. You know, people get exposed or allegedly exposed because someone's trying to come up. And it turns out there was an independent investigation. There was allegedly no wrongdoing done. Right. Dr. Disrespect's most damning part about this situation was that he wrote a letter on, he wrote that thing on X, basically admitting to inappropriate contact or over joking with someone that's of minor age. He then later came back and produced a bunch of receipts and said that he'd done that just to basically get the story out there. Basically everyone had signed contracts not to talk about it. But now that he was free to talk about his side, he just overloaded with receipts. Go look it up, do the research. Looking at it objectively, like I said, there could not have been any wrongdoing here because he would be in jail. We can both agree on that.
Right.
He would literally be in jail.
Welcome in, Miss Hippie. We have missed you for
Hippie.
Haven't seen you in a minute, girl, but you are always welcome here.
So no wrongdoing officially, no official charges or anything like that. Independent agency that, reports this up to the police that Twitch came to, they turned it over. Nothing was found. Nothing that, everything was being alleged. Now he's over on Rumble. Looked at it right now, my brother. He had a stream one day ago, 923K views.
For live, that's utterly amazing.
Not too shabby.
not too shabby at all. He still has Butler money. He still has that Butler money. The money Twitch had to pay him out in the first place was already Butler money. So I don't think he's going to the poorhouse.
No.
But his popularity still reign. But here's the thing, and this is an argument I'm having because, how there's a lot of stuff in politics where Donald Trump has picked all sorts of cabinet members and people, all these accusations are suddenly coming out of nowhere.
Right.
And so, honestly, I reserve the right not to believe people who make accusations only when that person is running for the highest office.
Right. Okay. I dig it.
They wait 15 years. Here's what I'm saying. I can here's what it is. And ladies, just please hear what I'm saying here. I understand that sometimes you're scared. You don't want to, for whatever reason, report immediately. I understand that. But if you wait 15 to 20 years to then get the guy when he's running for president or he's running for Secretary of Defense or something, I have a problem with your accusation.
Yeah, it seems fishy. Again, we want to believe all victims, but we also want to believe the facts, right? Actually, let me just say this. I want to believe the facts, period, point blank, man. And I hope everyone gets their day in court. D, welcome in. But yeah, let's watch this video and let's see why it's so important that he's over on Rumble. Millions of followers on YouTube. Not too shabby showing over on Rumble. Wildly popular character. Guy Beam, a.k.a. Dr. Disrespect. And yeah, he's doing it over there, man.
Content creation just got rocked. Dr. Disrespect, one of the most iconic gaming personalities of all time, has officially signed with Rumble. If you're familiar with Rumble, you might know it as a platform often labeled as right-wing. But today we're digging deeper, cutting through the stereotypes, and breaking down the reasoning and implications of what this move means for Rumble, Dr. Disrespect, and the future of the content creation industry. Let's start with some context on what Rumble actually is. Rumble's reputation has always been a point of contention, largely because it initially became a haven for creators and voices censored on mainstream platforms. This wasn't a deliberate branding decision, but a byproduct of Rumble's free speech philosophy. Early on, the platform was seen as a political space, as voices deplatformed from YouTube and Twitter naturally migrated there. While some of this reputation still lingers, it's crucial to understand that Rumble never aimed to be a political platform. Right. Its foundational ethos was to allow uncensored expression across all content types. This distinction is key in reframing how the platform is perceived today. Over time, it's been free to stream on. I approached the platform with a healthy mix of skepticism and curiosity. He's still going on about even in those early days, I could see
what it is he sounds like either a normie or a leftist who's scared of Rumble. So, I produce podcasts. That's my day job. And I remember somebody was like, one of our clients, like they use all sorts of normal apps, but they also use Rumble. And the person talking about me said, and they use Rumble, aka racist YouTube. It was like, yo, dog, you need to get out more. Because you don't even know what racist YouTube is. There's a racist YouTube out there, and it is not Rumble.
Yo, racist YouTube is wild. Not as wild as it used to be, man. There was a time you could type in the search bar on YouTube, man, end up in a Google chat and like hit a hard R as soon as you get in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's crazy, man, because listen, you and I are both content creators. We're committed to the game, man. We hone our craft. We work really hard at this. We try to bring the best content we can, live and pre-recorded for you folks as possible. Dr. Disrespect is on another level in regards to production. True, compared to a major network, his production would be something that you would see on, let's say, public access. But that in the streaming world is top tier. You know what I'm saying? He's got a whole stitch that people have mimicked for years, man. And he got paid out, like you said, by Twitch. He's got this deal with Rumble now. His fans will travel. Once a co-host I had on the show called Talking with a Dad, shout out to Zach, said one of the weirdest things I ever heard. He's like, the hardest thing on earth to do is to get someone to click a link.
Yes. Oh my God. Yo, you could send that to your Ma Dukes. Your mama, the woman who birthed you. And you're like, Mommy, check out my stream. And she will not go. And if she does go, she ain't pressing like. It is so, and all it is 2 clicks, right? To click the in and then a click. Oh man, don't get me started. Bex Rated says, I've never been to racist YouTube. Well, then you haven't lived, Bex.
Yeah, racist YouTube. And like I said, it's nowhere near where it used to be, man. But yeah, racist YouTube, black YouTube, brown YouTube, and I'll make a difference. White YouTube, certain spaces when they meet into intersectionality, man, it is wild, man. I remember when I stumbled upon Hebrew Israelite YouTube, and I stayed there for days because I was amazed.
We also have a Blue Sky video, which we got a lot of discussing to do on that one. But Matt Cat says, y'all don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Matt. Matt serving as our manager. Good working a lot. I keep keeping on, Yeah, absolutely. We do know, Miss Tippy. Thanks for the reminder, Matt, says D. Race YouTube backs.
Race YouTube.
Go on, guys, get with it.
But yeah, so he's over there now. He got the exclusive deal, man. And if you just skip ahead a little bit, I think he's going to get into the stream and why this is important. And obviously, Berlin's been championing this for a while. More voices, more diversity on YouTube. Dr. Disrespect, not really an overtly political figure prior to all the scandal, but it turns out once you corner someone, they might have some things to say about the world.
Let's check it out.
Upgrades on both desktop and mobile to the addition of features like chat badges and donation tools. The platform has come a long Department of Justice to propose substantial remedies, including the potential breakup of Google's assets to address its monopolistic hold on the market. Such concentration of power in one place can stifle innovation and limit diverse content. The emergence of alternatives like Rumble introduces essential competition, compelling all platforms to innovate and prioritize user satisfaction. This competitive environment benefits both creators and consumers, fostering a more dynamic and inclusive digital space. Over the past year, I've witnessed Rumble take deliberate steps to improve the ecosystem for gamers in particular. Whether it's chat badges, improved monetization options, or high-quality streaming, these enhancements have started to put gaming on Rumble's map. Another of Rumble's standout features is its
a commercial for Rumble right now. What is going on?
A rare quality in tech platforms. A perfect example of this is recently discussion in the description as well. It underscores how much Rumble values for gamers and creators. This means reliable performance and less worry about.
Oh my God, Steve, are you sure this is the right video? Because this seems like a documentary on Rumble.
It is the right video. It is the right video. But what he's doing is long form explaining why it's big that Dr. Disrespect is. We'll save you folks some time, man. Dr. Disrespect going over to Rumble brings an audience with it already created, already established, and they're going to go over there. So many people that were in the stream already agreed to subscribe to Rumble Premium, just not to have commercials during their long form game content with Dr. Disrespect, man. And it's good for the platform, man. I'm not a huge fan of these exclusive deals because of what happened to what is the name of this site, man, before it rolled into Facebook, Microsoft's own streaming platform, which, man, in retrospect, bro, I wish we would have jumped on that because I forget the name of it, man. I forget the name of the app itself, but it was had a really great and active community, man. Thousands of people. I did a stream on there once, and 20 people showed up out of nowhere.
Is it debunked now?
Yeah, it's debunked. They got debunked a few years back, man. A few years back. But yeah, huge news in the streaming world, man. YouTube, Google going through the paces right now. Facebook's stream section is almost entirely dead, and Rumble is positioning itself as a real contender.
Basically, tonight's show is going to be a lot about social media. And before we get into all of that, one, congratulations, Dr. Disrespect. I'm glad that he got his crown back. I'm glad that he's doing Rumble. The more diversity of these things, no longer will we have to succumb to these overlords like YouTube. YouTube is an overlord. Because everyone wants that payday, everyone's there, and it's just unfair because we have to respond to their rules. But real quick, my honorable mention is Destiny and Nick Fuentes. Tell me you have heard this story.
I've heard many stories regarding these two, but what's the latest debacle?
So, everyone in the chat, it's going to get a little spicy. It's actually going to get a lot spicy, but I'm going to try my best to tame my tongue. So a blatant pornographic video was dropped, and it was Destiny, and they actually make it very obvious who they are, apparently, because I've only seen a still from it, and I was like, that is clearly Destiny. Oh my God. was giving fellatio to Nick Fuentes.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
I know you're already in shock. You're like, that didn't happen. Check it, man. I've seen this face on people before. I've seen it.
No. No way.
I'm sorry to laugh. Fellatio is nothing to laugh at, guys. But so that's my honorable mention. Those
okay.
yeah. Sheldon said, bro, what? Have you not heard this?
No, I did not hear this, man.
Yeah, Sheldon says I'm done.
Not the video itself. Do you have something of someone talking about it, or like what? Huh?
You didn't send it.
I mean, this is your honorable mention, but I found something.
Well, usually we don't use videos for honorable mentions, but I invite everyone to Google, check it out. This whole thing on Twitter, I saw stills of it. Unfortunately,
so here's the deal. In regards to Destiny, he is an unrepentant, pansexual. So that doesn't surprise me. Nothing he does surprises me with his own personal sexual life, right?
Right.
But Nick Fuentes, professing white nationalist and Catholic, not that those two things are synonymous, but this guy has everything to say. He has everything to say about that community and their goings-ons, right? So what you're saying is an omega level bomb, because I'm on YouTube all day long and this has not come up in my feed. Thank God. But to hear something like that is wild, man.
Carmen Sita, welcome in.
Welcome in, Carmen. Welcome in, Berlin.
So Matt says, the Destiny and Nick Fuentes news is crazy. It absolutely is. I'm surprised not more videos are made about it. And mostly I heard about it all through Twitter.
I just sent you a video with a guy, Destiny and Nick Fuentes exposed during explicit relations. So if you want to click on it, I got listen.
I do. Let's hope they don't show anything weird.
It's a YouTube video, don't we? And while we're waiting for Mantis to cue that up, folks, Fairboy Bottling School, RizRadio.com is Radio Live 365. Folks, don't be alarmed. In a week or so, possibly a year, the name of the channel Fight Juice Online might be changing. So if you see it change, just know it's us. If we
tell them it changes, then it has to change. So let's tell them it's going to change. It's going to be Riz. It's going to be just called Riz Radio.
Yeah, it's going to be called Riz Radio. We did not get hacked by Russian bots. We've been trying. The Russians want nothing to do with us.
They want nothing to do with us, man. The Russians won't even mess with me. It's
because we're freedom speakers over here, man. We're talking about freedoms.
Let's see what this guy has to say.
So the internet, as we know, is a very weird and wild place. And well, as I was scrolling on Twitter or X yesterday, I happened to come across Blair White tweeting that streamer Destiny and political commentator Destiny, if you don't know who he is, definitely go and check out some of his stuff. He is very insufferable, kind of like Cenk Uygur in many respects. Although Cenk, I think, is changing his mind on a lot of things. And who knows, maybe he was paid a lot of money to say the kind of things that he was saying during the whole campaign trail. But now that all the money has ended, he's just going, maybe I need to think about all this stuff that I said originally, and maybe I need to change my tune on that. But Destiny, on the other hand, he speaks really fast. He doesn't know.
He speaks really fast,
if anything at all. And a lot of pro-Trump people have stunned him and really dismantled a lot of his so-called arguments in the past. He's also been on Jordan Peterson's podcast. You can have a listen to that. And I also made a video about him.
Yeah, when he was on, so there have been 2 times where I've seen Destiny, I want to say humbled or very respectful of the guest he was speaking of. One was with Candace Owens, which is extremely weird because she basically hit him with the, come on, bro. You're a 30-some-odd-year-old man. Come on, when are you going to stop doing this stuff? When are you going to get serious about it? And then when he was talking to Jordan Peterson, it was like watching him trying to debate with his uncle at Thanksgiving.
Well, I've seen him talk, and there's no way he can keep up with Jordan Peterson.
I mean,
I don't even need to watch the debate. Like
Jordan Peterson, someone once told me they thought Jordan Peterson was the poor man's philosopher. I'm like, that man is wildly intelligent.
True. Oh my God, he's
true. Sometimes he says things that you're just like, huh, let me go look that up and make sure that's a real word. And it turns out it is a real word. And you're just like Jordan Peterson with the W. But Berlin just came in and he asked what's going on. Apparently Nick Fuentes and Destiny have allegedly been caught in some compromising positions and it got leaked on X. I can't believe this is not like, this should be on MSNBC. In fact, I want to throw
maybe it would save them. Maybe we'd give them ratings.
Yeah, don't you think Destiny should be on MSNBC? And actually, it's funny. Destiny just took a hard stance against progressives the other day and said that he's done with them, or at least a certain pocket of progressives, because there's nothing you can do to satisfy them. They have cost the Democrats the election, is what he was alluding to. So
right.
let's listen to the Australia.
Pretty much having a go at a very callous approach of the guy that was killed at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania.
Right, I saw that.
He didn't care. He didn't care, and he was very adamant and very outspoken about that. And, well, people still keep platforming him. But this news that I read over on X from Blair White
He's scared to
caught
say
my
it.
attention, and I just had to do a little bit of extra.
Just like I was scared
extra
to say
digging
it.
because I'm like, no way can this possibly be true and accurate. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, it is, even though Destiny himself has denied the so-called leaks. So what's going on, right? So Destiny has denied allegations of leaked corn with Nick Fuentes. If you don't know who Nick Fuentes is, he's a rabid anti-Semite who hates the Jewish people with an actual passion. And he is a very good spreader of lies and disinformation. But nevertheless, these two people, Destiny and Nick Fuentes, got together one time and thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if we made a corn tape? And then kept it private so nobody could actually see later on. But guess what? According to Destiny, a friend's account was hacked. So,
well, okay. So the first thing I need to know
account,
is, so for those who want to know a little more illicit details, just a little, they were doing it in the back seat of a car, right? And they made videos of it, multiple videos. Why would you make the videos in the first place? Okay, so maybe let's say you want to keep the video to titillate yourself later, right? Why would you put it on your friend's X account?
Oh my goodness, bro. Breaking news, and it was Matt that dropped it in the chat. Man, apparently my algorithm is all wrong. This is being reported, not yet confirmed, Brett Cooper out of the Daily Wire.
Oh my God, so funny. I have a Brett Cooper video for us tonight. Oh my God, let's talk about that.
Yes, Berlin, to answer your question, that's apparently what's going on. And just before we jump into Brett Cooper, let me just finish off with this, man. Again, nothing surprises me with an unrepentant pansexual character like Destiny, right? Everything's permissible with that guy. But Nick Fuentes, if this is true, this is the nail in your coffin, man. You're gonna need more than mace, because I've heard that white nationalists, they're not very forgiving of this type of stuff.
No, they're not. And that's the thing. When I found out, I said, so are you a fan of the Boondocks?
Yes.
When the kids end up, they try to go to what was his name? What was the Gangstalicious? The Gangstalicious gets shot, and they go to the hospital, go see him, and he's gonna get killed, and so they help him, and they help him escape the hospital. And then it turns out that when they find out he's broke, and then he meets up with another one of his boys, and they start making out, and they're gay, and like all these things. And so one of the kids says, "Wait a minute. You're soft and you're broke and you're gay? It's like dying, going to heaven and meeting God and finding out he smokes crack."
Oh no, man. Oh no.
But I feel like I feel like a lot of white supremacists must be feeling this about Nick Fuentes.
Berlin says the fruit rumors with Nick Fuentes aren't new.
Here's what it is. He is kind of a salty or whatever. I'm not trying to stereotype people like that, right? But I can see why people might say that about him. But I'm saying his the way he lives his life and his crew and people gravitate to his message. You are right. They are not going to like this.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And here's the thing, man. You know how everyone can be accused of being racist nowadays on the internet? Folks, Nick Fuentes is the racist you're looking for, right? The people you accuse of racism, they're often just confused people. That's the guy. That guy, him and Myron from Should Fit. They're on some real weirdo stuff right now, man. But I did send you a video. Your favorite guy, the King, right? Talking about the Brett Cooper thing. If you want to,
he's loving this because I got to tell you, when she blew up, she only blew up like 3 years ago, right?
Right.
When she blew up, he was getting actively annoyed in his videos that she was growing so fast. And he's like, whatever. The Daily Wire wants just to hire a pretty girl, and people will just click on her stuff because she's pretty, whatever. And he just wants to belittle her. And so it's so cute. I bet you he's going to be super critical of this poor girl. Actually, before we get into what he wants to talk about, I want to talk about my predicting of this.
Wait, hold on 1 second, brother. Before we get into that, you just hold that thought. All right, what are your predictions of this?
So yeah, I had already predicted this. And so what it is, there were signs. Okay, so and this is like a thing. So one day I'm walking and I'm like, let me see what my YouTube channels are. And I was like, oh, there's a Brett Cooper video. And I click on it, and there's this blonde girl sitting there. And I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, hi, I'm producer Reagan. Brett's not working Fridays anymore, so I'm gonna handle her workload on Fridays. And so slowly over time, this blonde girl is having more appearances on Brett Cooper. Now in the chat, I know a bunch of you are Brett Cooper fans, so I know you all noticed it. And then no one said anything on the internet. I even looked around for rumors that there might be like her being fired or something, or she's leaving, she's walking her out. But in my own mind, I said they are conditioning us on her channel to accept other voices.
It's a good call, man.
And so I thought something could be up. Now, remember, she was a huge Candace Owens loyalist, right? Even though she didn't publish. I was expecting her to say something, and she ended up being spineless and not saying anything about Candace.
Right.
When it went down. But I was wondering if she was going to take a shot or say something. And so who knows? I can't wait to find out what this is. I can't wait to find out why.
Yeah, D is confirming what you're saying about the young blonde lady. Folks, I know my camera's a little delayed. I apologize for that. Hopefully my voice isn't delayed. Am I still coming through clear for you, man?
Yeah, you're coming out totally clear.
All right, yeah. The Brett Cooper, I would say I'm her biggest fan, not because of any opinion she holds or anything like that. Just not my cup of tea, really. But I have to admit, she's made some interesting content as of late. And I was right there with you, man, because I remember when the picture of her and Candace Owens came out and how much she looked up to her, and she didn't get Candace's back after the whole Daily Wire thing. And again, this is something we didn't get a chance to get into on Berlin's show, but we talked about it briefly, which is I make a true distinct distinction between when Christians are making commentary about Israel and the state of Israel and when political figures are, right? I believe that political figures and political pundits, everything is for a view, everything is for a click, and I don't know how authentic they are with their opinions of these subject matters. But in case you didn't know, Candace Owens is on the list of the most anti-Semitic people, and she might win an award for it.
Guys, I'm laughing because that is objectively funny and not because anti-Semitism is funny. It's funny to win an award for anti-Semitism. We must all agree this. Right?
Yeah. The fact that a Jewish group got together and said we're going to give out awards for this is wild. But let's see what old Neckbeard
Neckbeard Supreme. Let's see what he has to say. Just for the record, guys, years ago I used to follow him, and then I realized what a toxic soul he was, and so here's a reason to follow him. Though I will say this: he makes like 6 videos a day, and he is quick on this stuff. As a matter of fact, he didn't make a video about the Destiny thing, but he said in one of his videos, he said, "I'm trying to wash my mind's eyes of the Destiny video I saw that day," which made me Google it.
Oh wow, man!
But I'm saying because he's constantly online and constantly making short videos, he makes like 3-minute videos. He's always up on the news.
Yeah, I mean, he always is. I will give him that, man. I have a lot of respect for for his work ethic. Him and other people like that just record daily, and they just hit the OBS live button, and they're like, let me get it out there, man. And again, one of my major influences, man, have a huge respect for this guy. Very controversial figure in hip hop. Star, same thing, man. This guy, Star, treats this game like a real business, man. You can go over there, get paid, promotion on Star's channel, but if you stream any of his stuff without his consent, know that copyright letter is coming.
Right, of course, because that's his bread and butter. He's trying to pay, he's trying to feed himself. I respect that. I respect that.
The funniest thing too is like, I know some of you are copyrighted right now. Just make a small donation and we'll get you out of YouTube jail. And I'm like, yo. But go ahead, hit it. I'm sorry.
In this news, and when I first saw it about the Daily Wire versus Brett Cooper, I thought there's no way this could possibly be true. And I still have a hard time believing that it is true. But the silence is stunning. There is a rumor going around, which just seems at first blush looks completely unfounded. And as of right now, 11:09 a.m. on December 3rd, Brett Cooper has not reacted to this rumor, has not responded to anybody who has been endlessly posting it in her on her X replies, and has not responded to my DM asking if she can speak about it, which to me, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. But if there were wild rumors going around about me getting fired or me leaving a show or something like that, and she keeps using X and she hasn't addressed them, it seems like they could be true. Now, Brett Cooper is, in my opinion, one of the few bright spots at the Daily Wire.
Oh, wow.
And I know she's supposedly starring in their version of Snow White, but I'm not sure how all this got started, but it's been smoldering for several days now. It's reached her comment section and she hasn't addressed it. So let's take a look. By the way, it wouldn't be a video about Daily Wire if I didn't remind you, order your hilarious Trump-themed, MAGA-themed cookbooks. The perfect Christmas gift for the hard-to-buy, old curmudgeonly dude that you know, people at your work, triggered libs.
Oh my God, man. This guy's pathetic. He's trying to jump on every algorithm, right? And he's just like, what's cool? Trump cookbooks.
It's going both sides. What's homegirl's name? The sister that's Joy Reid or whatever her name is.
Joy Reid.
Yeah, she's catching a lot of smoke right now for her Thanksgiving comments. I don't know if you're up to speed on that.
Oh, I don't know her Thanksgiving, but she's always making comments. That one.
Talking about forced segregation from your family over political views.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wait.
Of course.
We have everyone in the chat. Let me ask you a question. Would you de-invite someone from Thanksgiving because of their political views? Would that be strong enough to rip them from the table? Let's hear about it, but go ahead, continue.
Oh, he says nope. The rumors are also that the Snow White movie is canceled.
Oh,
what? It seems like it's all Jeremy Boring. What the hell? But I'm saying, how is he supposed to have a network if he keeps firing all his talent?
Yeah.
D says I was actually looking forward to the Snow White movie. So was I.
Were you really? Were you both really looking for it?
Yeah.
A conservative. Listen, I talked about this on Mic Check, man. Conservative and Christian movies, we got to step it up, man. Listen, Christian movies that's a labor in love. Whenever actually, no, but there was one I watched recently. I told Bex about it, and it's about a guy who's being executed on his way to execution because he's demonically possessed. That movie was absolutely a banger.
I don't know the name of the movie, but I remember everyone talking about it, and they're like, it seems like a normal prison movie, and then it has a twist, and they're like, it will make you think about stuff.
Yeah, it definitely hit me right in the conviction button. I was like, oh! Yeah, there's a part where the demon's talking about abortion. Oop, did I say that out loud? And he's like, oh yeah, we all celebrate when you bring your child to our altar. And I was like, oof. Like, yo.
Matt says I'm wearing a Donald Trump Christmas sweater to Christmas. My liberal brother and family are gonna freak.
Yeah, Matt says I want all points of view at my table. That's right, Matt. Stand up for true family gatherings, man. Everyone should be able to come, man. Yeah, did you like that Alex Jones video I sent you? I sent it to you, Berlin, D, and a bunch of other people.
It's fun. It's funny. It's definitely funny. But let's find out what's going on. But I don't want him to sell me anymore. Like, here we go.
AF Post saying the Daily Wire allegedly plans to replace show host Brett Cooper on her own show with producer Reagan Rohrbach after a disagreement with CEO Jeremy Boring. Evidence, trust me, bro. There is absolutely nothing in this post that has now received 4,000 likes to actually indicate that this is true. Of course, a lot of people sharing this and pushing this are saying, "Oh, this chick's Jewish, so that must be why it's true." Again, I have not seen any evidence of this. However, things do seem to get a little deeper. Brett posted this morning, a passage saying, "We look before and after and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thoughts. Yet if we could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how the joy we ever should come near." Now, I do think that is an interesting post.
That is a weird post.
You see, she's active on Twitter, replying to people. But then if you look in her comments, you're in my newsfeed a lot lately. Hope you're holding up okay. If the rumors are true, I'm so sorry you're enduring this. Hopefully you and Real Candace can do an interview soon. You're the real hero. Just remember that. I sincerely hope that Daily Wire is smart enough to never to Gina Carano you. It's a shame that Daily Wire is firing you. You had a good little show there. Not that I ever watched, but still.
Oh, well, yeah, there has to be some drama behind it. Why would she be fired if she's popular?
In here, bringing up that she is being fired from the Daily Wire, which I don't know if that is necessarily how I would define it. Maybe it's just a contract dispute, and this is part of the negotiation. But she is not responding to any of those.
Yeah.
You know, fired from the Daily Wire for not being Israel enough. Again,
the movie's
these are people that are pouncing on this, that have their opinions of Daily Wire already, have their opinions of, Ben Shapiro already. I mean, 3 hours ago, she posted this, and every single reply, every single post in here is like, talking about, what's about eating deodorant, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people are bringing up.
And so here's another theory that I have about it. This could be just her leaving. And so, she recently got married, and her husband bought a farm.
Right.
And she talks about having the farm and stuff. But you know what it is? If you do notice, a lot of this is just in my experience from like when I like woman creators. One of the problem with women creators, no offense, girls, is they're gonna go have a family and they're gonna stop creating, right? And so I'm like one of those wicked bosses, right? It's like, should I hire her? She's just gonna go have babies and go on maternity leave. But like maybe that's what she wants. Maybe she's at the point where she's like, you know what? I want to focus on my marriage, my farm, and having babies.
Also, there's that, and there's also the potential of knowing that in this day and age on the wide web, she'd probably do better on her own, right? You save up enough money to build a studio down there, just like friggin' Candace did, just like, what's this guy?
Amala did it.
Amala, just like this guy from Fox News. What's his name, man? The guy who looks like he has
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. And then you have the freedom to control your brand. All revenue goes
Megyn Kelly too, and
Kelly. Yeah.
Yes, you can be your own creator nowadays. You're right. You don't necessarily need like one of these companies. The company prop you up, and then once you're famous enough, trust me, yes, she will have instantly a million subs wherever she decides to go if she wants to set up her own camp. We all know this.
And also, Daily Wire's had a falling from grace, a public falling from grace on a political stance, right? And in regards, and political or religious, the fact that they canned Candace over the comments on a free speech platform, and then their public dispute with Steven Crowder, which was at the root of a lot of this conversation, which is, oh, so you guys aren't going to back me if YouTube, has something to say. I have to pay you or whatever this complicated contract says, man. Daily Wire is not the free speech platforms you guys think. They're a business. They are a business, and the business is going well as long as they're allowed to address Black and brown issues and that community, who I'm talking about. But the minute that lens was turned around on Israel, business took over. You know what I'm saying? No one's
I gotta say this: Candace has the craziest covers for her show.
Yes.
And I love that one. The other, she has crack wins the day and shows a picture of cracked out, drugged up Hunter Biden.
Are we going to talk about it, man? We're going to talk about Hunter Biden.
I mean, I don't know if there is much to talk about. I will state this: they should hammer him and tease Biden about this.
Yeah.
However, if I had a son, I can't say that I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'd pardon my son all the way up to murder and SA charges. You know what I'm saying? Like that he's guilty of.
Right.
But he did say multiple times that he wouldn't pardon his son. So I don't know, that's the thing that everyone's really outraged about. In regards to Brett Cooper, man, I wish you the best. I hope you land on your feet, and I pray for you and your family that you guys have all the blessings that are coming to you, right? And actually, I gotta admit, if she's leaving Daily Wire, good for her, man. Good for her.
Yeah. Honestly, you could probably create your own. Like, what? Obviously, at the beginning of your career, you need them to basically advertise for you. That's the big part.
That's it.
That's what a lot of these creators. I love that they totally forgot that these companies made them famous.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right now, she probably doesn't need them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She can go do her own live streams. People will show up. She can do her own videos. People will show up.
Yeah. Hey man, I want to talk to you about Drake really quickly, if you have a moment to listen.
Okay.
So let's talk about Drake. Let's talk about the Super Bowl, and let's talk about Lil Wayne. Let's talk about Kendrick Lamar. And let's wrap that all up by including some names like DJ Academics, Rory and Mal, Joe Budden has as of yet not weighed in on this, but everyone's eating off of it right now. So, we can talk about it. Kendrick Lamar is going to be at a little thing called the Super Bowl, right?
I have heard that. I may have heard that.
America's true pastime, a real ascent to the highest precipice for an entertainer is performing at the Super Bowl nowadays. Jay-Z has been coordinating the Super Bowl performances for the past couple of years, and that is what it is. He picked Kendrick Lamar, who is not even arguably the most popular hip hop figure right now, right? It's hands down. Just dropped a new album. He addresses, Kendrick Lamar, that is. He addresses the whole Lil Wayne controversy, drops a bar that I didn't really perceive as a diss, just saying, man, it seems like all my hard work made Wayne, hurt Wayne's feelings, something to that effect. Lil Wayne has been going on public rants, as he should, because the Super Bowl is going to be in his hometown of New Orleans, and he wasn't picked. That psychopath Nicki Minaj weighed in. Nobody listens to her, right?
They don't listen to her. They used to listen. I used to listen to her all the time. But she just says the wildest things and does the wildest things. At this point, she's like your drunk aunt at a barbecue. She's in the corner saying this and that and causing drama, and you're like, yeah, sure, Nikki. You tell him, Nikki.
You get him. Let me just get this.
You get him, girl. You get him.
Let me just get this over here.
But she's so insignificant at this point. I'm almost ashamed because I was such a Nikki fan. I was like, damn, what happened, girl? You know what? She got old.
Yeah, she got old and she said too many crazy things. There are things you can't recover from saying. Now, I just want to ask you a question. Obviously, about Drake suing the record label for potentially propping up They Not Like Us and getting it more clicks and airplays. That's low-hanging fruit. Drake also just recently said something. We covered it on Mic Check in regards to Kendrick Lamar using people. He's trying to reverse the taking of his black card, and he did Uno spin. Now he's sending it back Kendrick's way.
Yeah, I have to say this. I know this is the new age where people sue instead of do gunplay against their enemies, but like it's such a punk ass Canadian thing to do, to be like, I'm a rapper and I didn't get as much love as this other rapper. I'm gonna sue my label. Like, what? Man up, Drake. You know he will never man up. He's a joke.
Yeah, not the rules of battling. But let me ask you a question. Everyone came out and said when Kendrick got picked for the Super Bowl, this is a clear sign that he was the winner. And everyone would agree with that. Have you ever heard of a thing called the World Cup?
Unfortunately.
Right. Usually the women's USA team reps the American male
yes,
team. So,
right. It's a woman's sport, really. But
so here's the thing, man. What if I told you that Maul of Rory and Maul, formerly of the Joe Budden podcast, came out after having a conversation with Drake and all but confirmed that Drake will be performing at the World Cup at the final game. So let's compare audiences right now. Roughly 20 million people watched the Super Bowl, something around that figure.
Right.
Billions of people.
Right. Because the World Cup is international.
Yeah. So does this change the conversation at all? That Drake will be performing at the World Cup? Or does it just cement the fact that, like, yeah, I took an L to this little guy in America who's performing at fake football this year, but I'm performing at the World Cup?
This is a very interesting thing that you just brought up. So have you ever noticed that when they record box offices for movies, they have a domestic number,
right? Of course,
and a worldwide number.
Yes, and the domestic number is held in higher regard because
it's held in higher regard, right?
Yeah,
because ultimately we care what Americans think, right?
Right.
Do I care what a Frenchman thinks about music or sports or women? I don't. I have you seen their women? Like, I'm just saying. Do you think I care what Australia thinks?
Right.
Is like a mighty thing. You think I give a goddamn what anyone from Eastern Europe thinks? North Africa is a good place to cop some drugs, but not get an opinion about what art is.
So
right?
It's funny. Beck said ninjas don't watch the World Cup, mostly because they're extinct. But I believe Bex is referring to a certain people group. Bex, you're excluding all of Jamaica. You're excluding all of South Africa.
Yeah, it's not right to say that. Because you don't want to. She's talking about American ninjas.
Yeah. But then
American ninjas.
We are not the sum total of the Black experience, as we're often reminded of.
Right, exactly.
But Drake is allegedly going to be at the World Cup, and this is a great conversational point only in this regard, man. Yes, Kendrick won the battle in America, but apparently Drake is winning the war in the world because not only did Kendrick's new album, which is supposedly really good, but no one's really listening to it, right?
I may have just ate my own words.
Whereas Drake is about to be on the largest platform internationally. And it's crazy to me because at the end of the day, this is very similar to what happened to Jay-Z. Welcome in, Lainey. This is very similar to what happened with Jay-Z and Nas. Nas absolutely bodied Jay-Z, but Jay-Z went on to become a billionaire afterwards.
Because you want that international money, right? And so once again, my bigotry, my anti-American, my bigotry for things that are un-American,
right.
have blinded me. But it is true that not only does that open the doors for a payday the day of, but future paydays.
Right.
Will Drake be able to be internationally tour way more than Kendrick?
Yes. And here's the crazy thing, because fans have a short memory. You're looking at it from the position of an American, as you should, right? We know that he lost this battle, and in the history books of hip hop, he will never live down the lawsuit. He will never live down the L. That's the whole thing. And a lot of people forget that Drake actually had a response to They Not Like Us. The battle was over once that mid-tier song came out, because I've explained this before very eloquently here on Fanboy. It wasn't even about the lyrical prowess of the song. It wasn't even about the beat. Kendrick hit him with the race card, and that was that. People have been waiting to get Drake out of there for years. I always just wanted him out because he was talentless. Y'all wanted him out because he wasn't black enough.
At the end of the day, when it's a battle song, that's all that matters. The better rhyme wins, or the more clever insult wins. But you don't really need to have a beat. You don't need to be like a club hit. You don't need to be any of that stuff.
So I want to respond to what Bex is saying. Bex, I don't think Drake has ever been vying for anything. And if he was, he got it because, again, you gave it to him. Americans gave Drake a pass, then tried to take the pass back, but the world said he keeps his pass. And that's the crazy thing. A lot of people were questioning why Drake would release an album that had Afrobeat songs on it and house music. I told you on Fanboy why he released that album. Drake said out loud, I am bigger than hip hop with that album. He's like, I can release anything at this point, and it's going platinum. So and that's the thing that wait, let me cook for a little bit longer. That's the thing that people are going to have a hard time contending with. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to diminish the subpar victory of Kendrick Lamar. I'm not a Kendrick Lamar like stan, but I recognize that he won that battle. I still think J. Cole is the most talented out of that generation, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the problem, though. What we're left with is Kendrick Lamar, who sometimes makes very conscious music while perpetuating gang culture, whereas the Canadian has all of Europe behind his back, and he's only worried about money. It's
definitely the better business move. But here's what it is. I do agree with Bex. He has been vying for American love. He does want the blacks of America to think he's black and give him props. Drake.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, you're saying vying as in present tense. It was already given to him. There's no real way to take someone's black card. Let your Uncle Steve be the one to burst that bubble for you.
No, I know. You're right. He's had it for over a decade. Maybe, you know.
Once you give the man your money, right? Once your girlfriend has cheated on you listening to this man's music, once he has impacted the quote unquote culture, they let him in. Not you, Bex. They let him in. It's too late. I'm sorry.
They let him in a long time ago. I do agree. They let him in 2013 or whatever. I do agree. And now that he has that, now he's going for the money. Damn, he's an evil spirit, man. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing, man. The Canadians are doing it rough over there. I'm not perpetuating anything, but we got American artists, hood cats, going to Canada, getting their chains snatched up. So is it really that he's vying for American acceptance? Or is it just that Americans need to learn something that I learned when I traveled out this country a long time ago? We ain't the toughest and baddest. And we certainly, according to the record sales prior to Kendrick's album, aren't the most musically relevant. Afrobeat took 3 years stomping on hip hop. No,
right. Like, I mean, if hip hop is even still alive.
Well, did you read my article about culture vultures?
I did.
Which is where this whole thing is going. Mantis, could you help the people understand what are their predatory or eating habits? How does that work?
They prey on something that's dead already.
Dead or dying, right?
Or dying, yeah. Something that is weak and not thriving, that's for sure. And so for a culture vulture or a vulture to be successful, the thing already has to be headed to the grave.
Yeah.
Right. And so like a healthy hip hop culture, you know, in Steve's article, a healthy hip hop culture wouldn't allow culture vultures. They wouldn't make it. They'd be swatted out of the sky.
Right.
And the only reason that these guys are able to do their thing, the Adam 22s, the Drakes, is that the thing they're preying on is already dead and people aren't acknowledging it.
Yeah, they just don't want to let it go, man.
You know what actually backs that statement up? Something that Dee said. She says, I want to know who's still listening to Drake. And that's the thing. He's such a mainstreamer. This is like all pop music. Is that like, you're like, we all had fun with him in 2013 to like 2016, maybe. And then he started getting irrelevant and whack, right? But here's what I'm saying. There are mainstream people who continue to listen to. He dropped so many tracks this year. People don't realize this. He dropped so many tracks. Almost none of them made the top 40, but he made all this money off of these micro tracks he was dropping. Because someone's listening to it, someone's consuming it. It's probably some dumbass 14-year-old.
Listen, man, I tried to tell you on this very show, man, when you at the onset of another radio station that you were the producer on, I was like, the reason I don't give Drake any serious attention is because he's not hip hop. Bro, I had people sending me messages, people trying to evangelize me and get me understand how Drake is hip hop. And I'm like, no, man, you don't want to declare Drake hip hop, because when he takes his very public L, he's taking hip hop with him. So there it is. And you know what? He has the right to sue. I don't think that has anything to do with him being white. Right?
Can we be honest? And once again, a beautiful people. I love them, and I wish peace in the Middle Eastern country that they come from. But he's not white. He's Jewish.
It's true. It's so funny, man, because I remember you were talking about that wild rumor that he comes from like an affluent family, when in actuality, Drake does not come from an affluent family. His mother did what a lot of our mothers did. They overspent to get us into a better school district.
Right. But still, here's what I'm saying. He's Canadian, so by default, he's better than all of us.
Right.
Izzy says, y'all peep the new kids movie, The Wild Robot. My son watched it and I was locked in. Yo, I'm not gonna see it because I know it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, it looks like a
Obviously
very sad movie, man. Looks like a very sad movie.
You know, Shaolin says Drake crossed over. He now crossed over, and now he's gonna be like the king of Mexico because of his World Cup stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Mexican fans and European fans are gonna be like, I saw him at the Super Bowl. He's cool.
Yeah,
they won't know who Kendrick is.
It's crazy because Kendrick just gave an endorsement to a Mexican American rapper. I believe his name's like Lefty Blue or something like that. And even with the cosign from Kendrick, his album, which still heavily relies on how good the content is, but nowadays a cosign can get you very far, has only sold 600 copies, right? I think we're overestimating Kendrick's ability. And again, I want Kendrick to take a lap and enjoy his moment because he earned it, right?
So I gotta say, I think he rushed his latest album because I gotta say, Gen X,
you're not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it. Here's what I'm saying. It's all right. It's fine. It's not bad, but there is nothing super amazing. Like, there's no track I want to rush back to, you know?
I think the single release is really, really good, but I got to give it a few more listens. But speaking of sad little kid things, man, I'm sure you're excited to talk about this. Star Wars has a new show with some weepy-eyed little children and little animatronics and stuff like that, and it's getting really, really good reviews.
I'm not excited to talk about this. You know why? I didn't see it yet, but I am interested in seeing it.
So, what's the name of the show again, man?
The Skeleton Crew.
The Skeleton Crew. Bunch of cute little kids running around the universe doing stuff.
It looked really good. Did you see it?
No, I didn't watch it yet, but Thanksgiving and Black Friday took a toll on me.
So much is going on. It's been a busy week. It's weird that a Disney show drops on a Monday. That's the weirder thing.
Right. Izzy screams, Mustang! My jaw dropped when the kids was answering. Oh, wait, what did you say?
Sorry.
My jaw dropped when the kids was answering who is the greatest rapper alive, and they said Drake. Oh,
yeah. But D was asking, who listens to Drake. Drake has been dropping mad. It's funny, like singles, but not actually albums. Like he's like, I got a new hit single, I got a secret single, drop, and he makes money off of them, even if they don't hit the top 40, even if they're like number 65 or something. He still is making some money off of it, and so everything he does, I think he's smart, or he is a smart manager, is making money.
Oh yeah,
whether it's good or not is a different question, but he knows how to make money.
He's $1 billion company, and no company is going to allow itself to be painted as a pedophile, right?
Right.
So Skeleton Crew, not excited to talk about it because you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it, so I can't contribute to the conversation.
we can move
I
right
assumed
along.
you had seen it.
We can move right along to what you really want to talk about. X is dying, and there's a new kid on the block.
No. Okay, so before we get into that, here's what I'm saying. We really should have segmented earlier because we have a Brett Cooper video.
Oh, that's right. Let's play the Brett Cooper video.
Yeah, because I mean the madness. X is dying. That's
it's a safer space over on Blue Sky, man. Where people
safe space. Okay, I kind of now that you're saying all that.
You know what they were referring to you and your friends, you Elon supporters, as, right? You know they came up with a cute name for you guys.
What? Let me guess. People who win elections? Normal Americans? People who don't transition kids? People who don't mutilate kids? Non-pedos? People who don't dye their hair blue and suck white supremacist cock the way Destiny does? Like, you know, let me hear this mean insult.
You're Elon bros.
Clever. That's not even clever.
Yeah, they're taking play the video while you're getting queued up. They're taking hard shots at the Elon bros, saying that you guys can't admit that you've lost the social media war. I believe that Blue Sky, is it called, has up to 20 million followers or participants now.
So yo, can I put you on? So this is what happened with Parler. This is what happened with True Social. This is what happened with Threads. When a new app comes out, mad people sign up, but do they stay in it? Do they stay in the mix? That's the question. And all of those things usually fall apart. And you know what all of these apps are missing?
What's that?
It's conflict. People like X so they can fight. When you're in, like, for instance, remember the days of Parler? We used to go in Parler and I was like, I agree. And they're like, I agree. And I agree. And then you're like, and then you can hear like the birds chirping or whatever. And you're like, there's nothing to talk about here. And so the fun of X is seeing someone post something stupid and you're like, yo, bro, you're an idiot. And there you go at it, right? So
wait. But Parler did it right, man. No other social media platform will ever be known as the platform that helped organize an insurrection. My favorite holiday insurrection.
OGs and Sky Blue will do the next insurrection, as I say. If they last long enough. But here's what I'm saying: Sky Blue will be around for the next couple of years, I think. Right. But I don't think it's going to maintain monthly users.
Carmen, just to catch you up, we talked about Drake and his complete victory and ascent away from people thinking that he needs the black culture. And he's went from making millions. Now he's going to be making billions because he's performing at the World Cup. We have Brett Cooper here, who we discussed earlier, maybe leaving the Daily Wire for whatever reason. It's unclear at this point. And pretty soon we're going to take a deuce on a woman that says you should not eat Thanksgiving dinner with anyone that has a different political view as you.
Okay, let's see what I like. I feel like I'm worried I'm gonna cry because I see her. Is this her last video?
Election cycle, but there is one lesson that stood out to me. But this really isn't a lesson for us. It is a lesson for the mainstream media. And the lesson is, you guys failed. You failed. Americans do not trust you. The majority of people only tuned in to watch your programs on election night because they wanted to laugh and mock you. Sorry, harsh truth, but that is just the reality. And believe me, folks, the mainstream media has been forced to face the consequences of their actions, and they are slimming down. They are canning people, and some networks like MSNBC are now even up for sale. And they have a very interested buyer, Elon Musk.
Wait, hold on.
I really hate that man.
Before we dive into this story,
I can just laugh for a minute. And so, this is weird karma because you know what's funny? Here's what it is. It's funny that we're for starters, I mistakenly used the word karma. Remember, karma in like the real sense of karma goes between lives, and so this isn't karma. This is a Christian idea called "you reap what you sow."
Could you?
Right?
Okay, can we? Before we go any further, man, can we dispel the confusion between you reap what you sow and you get the fruits versus karma? I think a lot of people think karma is an instantaneous thing that impacts you in this life.
That's what I'm saying. It's not karma. It's not karma, right?
Yeah, but even people's understanding of the word karma, I was like, man, the Buddhists should sue you all. Like, you've butchered this word.
Oh, a real Buddhist would probably be pretty pissed. Not these fake American Buddhists that are like, I do yoga. I'm talking a real Asian man.
Karma is a universal power, right? Quote unquote, that expands through your many different lifetimes. And usually it impacts you in the next lifetime. It's not an instantaneous response, but it's
not like you're a dick and then you're walking and something spills on your shirt. Which that's what white people in America think karma is.
Not just
like,
white people. Karma. Not just white people, man. The spiritualist movement in America has adopted so many things in Buddhism, and man, they've just ruined it, man. The New Age movement is probably the most dangerous thing to hit America since herpes or polio or AIDS
or Drake.
Hit it, Brett.
See, Brett, my girl, Brett.
Freedom, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the comment section channel if you've not already, and of course, ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on all of our episodes. So in the aftermath of this historic comeback election, all hell broke loose with the media conglomerates. They were forced to reckon with the fact that podcasts and independent journalists had overtaken them and gained the public's trust, which obviously did not happen overnight, but I think that is something that they had just been trying to ignore and pretend like it wasn't actually happening.
Yeah.
This is fine.
I love that
events that are unfolding currently.
But between the impact of podcasts on Trump's win to their abysmal ratings, there was no way to hide any longer. I mean, take a look at these headlines from the last couple of weeks. This is from Newsweek. Donald Trump won, but the biggest loser was the mainstream media. They're even writing about their own demise. Brian Stelter wrote, "The election proved that the media is crisis. Here's what it needs to do to regain its relevance." Well, Brian, they should fire you to start. That's a suggestion. Just kidding, of course, but also not, because almost immediately, CNN announced mass layoffs. Massive layoffs coming soon. CNN to sack hundreds, including...
Oh, sorry, again. And everyone's like, just pay for YouTube.
Top stars. Brian, due to dismal election ratings.
I'm in danger.
Now, seemingly jumping ship, Chris Wallace announced that he was leaving CNN to, focus on podcasting and start his own independent show. And MSNBC recorded massive drops in viewership. MSNBC viewership drops by half in days after the Trump victory, which is just so ironic because the day after the election, all of the MSNBC stars were posting on social media about how many viewers they had on election night. They were like, thank you so much for trusting us and tuning in. Yeah. The only reason we tuned in was because we had it in the bag and we wanted to see you all melt down. And believe me, it was glorious. Around 11 p.m., we moved from Fox to MSNBC, chef's kiss. But you served no purpose after that, so that is why your viewership dropped. You are as beneficial as dry, dead dog kibble, which is why I give my dogs birthday. I watch MSNBC and then I go in some X to fuel myself. Probiotics, the enzymes, the omega oils, improving their digestion for shipping. Once again, that's Rough Greens. Go to roughgreens.com right now. Anyway, we still have not gotten to the kicker because just days after that, word got out that actually Comcast, who owns MSNBC, has been trying to sell the channel, but apparently nobody wants to touch that dumpster fire. Wall Street Mav posted about this and said, Comcast is putting MSNBC up for sale. CNN just announced massive layoffs coming. Maybe the new owners will figure out that lying nonstop to your audience is a lousy business model.
Can I take a moment and say something? And so I had to say this to my brother. So basically my brother was like, you can come for Thanksgiving. His wife is a hyper liberal. So he was like, you can't talk about any politics when you're in the house. So, I take the train down there. It's like long travels. And when I get there, I get off and he's like, we're going to go pick up some wine. And we're going to go back. And I said, before we get in the house with your wife, and I said, I just want to say one thing. He's like, what do you need to say? And I said, well, I want to express my feelings. And he's like, what do you mean? And like, so basically here's how I'm feeling. And I assume a lot of people in our chat are feeling this way, is that I had a political belief. when I was told that made me racist and misogynist and a horrible person, and I was bound to lose. And not only did actual physical people in the real world say this to me, but the news and media said this to me over and over and over and over again. And now that I'm proven right and they're proven wrong, I'm supposed to bite my tongue and not say anything about it. And I just want to say, like, I won, you lost, you people are idiots. You're totally disconnected from the real world and real people,
right?
And you need to suck dick. Nick friend his dick.
Oh my goodness!
But the point is that obviously I have that anger, I have that frustration,
right?
And I just think like we need to express it instead of bottling it up.
So here's the thing, right? I think what you're talking about, you're alluding to, has to do with one side of the table dictating the terms of conversation, right? Which has always been the knock for at least from secular conservatives and even in Christian spaces, is that one side of the table dictates what's appropriate speech and the other side has to abide by that. And so you're just constraining everyone with what's permissible and what's not permissible, what's racist, what's not racist. And there's no room for conversation to say, hey, can I represent my views? And I want to give you a piece of advice of something that's been happening to me lately that I've found great freedom in, right? And there's no joke coming here, my brother. There's no punchline. The horn's not going to be hit. I have completely given up on trying to sway someone who is that staunch on that side of the table. And
there's no reason.
Let me tell you why, right? When Trump lost in the previous election, right? Like I said on election night, many Christians were upset by that. And some of those Christians were upset for the right reasons because they thought the country, as it did, was going to start leaning into demonic, unbiblical principles, which have been crammed down our throats. Here's the thing that a lot of people can't deal with, man. Especially, I want to talk to the black viewers right now who are listening to the replay of this. You should be as angry as anyone else because the movement, which was bore off the back of your forebears, had been co-opted and completely remixed and turned to a point where no one will even listen anymore because of hyper liberal commentators and other groups coming in and completely just taking a stranglehold over your movement. This might be the best thing that's ever happened. Let's stop pretending as if though you lost something terrible. If you live in America, you are not living under a dictator because you don't know what that experience is like.
Right.
If you lived in South Africa during Idi Amin's time, then you know what true evil is like. You know what it means. If you live in Venezuela, at any point in the past 20 years, you know what true dictatorship is. And God forbid you live in Palestine and your neighbors are you know who, you really know what it likes to wake up to true hostile aggression. I will no longer be imprisoned by terms like words or violence. No, violence is violence. Words may lead up to violence, but we're still waiting on the violence that so many of you people lived in fear of. In fact, let me just go out there and throw out a grenade, man. There is no evidence that any trans person has ever been in as much danger as a black person was in during Jim Crow era.
Right.
There's the horn. That's why you lost the election. You took what was a well-meaning message of a group, broadened it to include everyone, and then people said no. And now that group whose message that really belonged to, now they're experiencing consequences for being in the same room at the same table. I'm proud of you, Mantis. I'm proud that you told your brother, these are my feelings. I'm proud that you got that out your system. You know why? Because I think on the other side of the table, people expect you to show up and show out. When in actuality, it's like the victory was enough. You're the one with all the emotions on the other side of the table. The victory is enough. Because they're usually the ones that kick off the debate, aren't they? Isn't it
yes.
the liberal that kicks off the debate?
They're the ones who can't control themselves. And actually, throughout the weekend, I totally bent my tongue. I didn't talk about it at all. And then it was pretty much around the time I was leaving, my sister-in-law started hitting me up, and she started saying statements that will trigger not trigger you, but kind of force you into a debate.
Right.
Like she's just like anyone who voted for Trump is clearly brainwashed and filled with lies.
Right.
And then I was like, It's like, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good.
But you know why you decided not to conflict, not to participate in that? Because you have respect for your brother and his home, and because that familial bond as family means something to you. And dare I say, it makes you worth something because you're not willing to completely disregard your bond to that person based off of a political belief.
Yeah, and you know, I'll say this, you know, my aunt was reading from the New York Times after I got back from my vacation. She was reading from the New York Times, and there was an article written that said, should people be willing to marry across party lines? And it's literally saying that you shouldn't be willing to let your kids marry someone from the other side. And I'm like, this is a cult. This is a cult. And I feel like it's the left who's being in the cult.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to use the bathroom. You play the video, brother.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's see what this beautiful brunette has to say.
Very true. But guys, through X came
Poor
one
girl's gonna be
very
unemployed
interested
soon.
buyer, and that would be
she'll be
Elon
fine.
Musk. Now, in response to some of these tweets, he said, "How much does it cost?" And guys, this created an uproar of excitement. I mean, it truly would be legendary. Just think about it. He already took a dying echo chamber of a social media platform and turned it into the most powerful vehicle for political and cultural commentary. Like, imagine what he could do with a major network. And almost instantaneously, the memes started flooding in. And a couple days later, he was obviously still thinking about the prospect. And he posted this saying, "And lead us not into temptation. Elon Musk trying not to buy MSNBC." I mean, the man lives to troll, and I love him for that. Mostly peaceful memes also jumped on this, and they called out Alex Jones's current situation with InfoWars being sold off to The Onion and his lawfare-fueled Sandy Hook lawsuit. And they posted saying, "Elon buys MSNBC and renames it InfoWars." I mean, like, could you imagine? That might be an even greater comeback since Trump winning the election. People think that they've silenced Alex Jones by taking away his company, and then boom, he's on cable news, primetime spot every single night. I would be sad.
Get Cyber Week deals on top-selling upgrades for your truck and get the most out of work, life, and adventure. Bring your truck to life.
What are your
on my
thoughts
couch
on
watching that with popcorn. Even
What are your thoughts like on him buying MSNBC? I actually think fiscally it would be a horrible move. I think he overextended himself enough with X. I think if anything, the infrastructure for what MSNBC exists on X already, why not just make it official and just start signing people?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He should. The money would be better spent signing talent exclusively to X. Honestly, the one of the reasons it's not just, here's what it is. It's not just that people are pissed that the left had all these lies about who would win the election, all this stuff. It is part of it. It definitely is, because they've been doing that for a long time. But it's also because cable in general is dying. You can't just have normal cable channels anymore. People are more sophisticated. I get all my news from my phone. I do all my media, most of my media stuff from my phone. The only time I really need TV and I can stream it is fiction. So I don't need a cable news network. And I don't think anyone really does.
No.
So I actually think Fox is eventually going to follow them.
Yeah.
So it would just be a waste of money, spending all this money on a dying cable. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that's going to do. But there's all these rumors what Elon Musk is going to spend his money on, because here's what it is. Supposedly he's making a rival to Google.
Yeah,
where it's supposed to be unbiased or something. Search engine.
Yeah, the Google situation is an interesting one, man, because Google's lived in the shadows and done things for quite some time, even here on YouTube, and the way.
And no one tries to step to them. No one ever tries to step to them.
Again, though, I think that the infrastructure already exists on X. Now, creating a new search engine, that's a different thing. People use Google not because of Google's official stances on it, but because Google over time became the most reliable and effective search engine compared to its only competition, Bing. So I wouldn't even wade into those waters, man. I would really, if I was Elon, I would spend time building X into an all-purpose platform, man. Now, again, I'm not a billionaire, so he's already done great in life without taking my advice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's funny though. I see a bunch of people boycotting Tesla, which was like once the darling of the left, and now
it still is, because trust me, I live in the suburb, the leftist suburbs, and everyone drives a Tesla.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so But it's funny, you know. So there's rumors he's going to do Google. There's rumors he's starting a video game company.
Okay.
And there's rumors he's going to buy D&D because Hasbro's going out of business.
Oh, please save D&D. Or
yeah, that would be kind of cool if he saved D&D because it was getting super woke. It was getting so woke.
Let me ask you a question while we got Brett up here, man. Knowing that this could potentially be one of her last videos here, how do you rate her talent level? You don't have to go into an entire soliloquy over it, but how do you rate her talent level?
So here, I think here's what it is. I think she's really good in terms of speaking and performing and doing stuff like that. Here's the thing, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Whatever, man, it's bullshit." She's not my type. That makes any sense?
Okay.
Like, I don't think she's like a hottie, and I need all that. But I do like her as a presenter of information and knowledge.
Okay.
And so I do think she's good, and I think she'll be super successful on her own if that's where it's going. But I've never thought of her as like a hot streamer. I don't think of her as like, you know what I mean?
So you're really here for the content. You're really there for the content. You're not like some weirdo in the background, just like trying to,
one of these simps or whatever. No way.
I can dig it.
What do you think of her?
Honestly, like I said before, man, she's not my cup of tea in regards to content. I do love the production value. I love how she hits every point of the conversation and how she hits the camera. That stuff is hilarious to me. There was one video she did. I cannot remember what it was on. And she literally looked over to the next camera to diss someone. And I was like, that was amazing timing. So I that, man. I definitely think if I was Elon and I was looking for talent, she'd be one of the people I'd sign quick, fast, in a hurry. I think also if Elon really wants to prove that X is like a true free speech platform, you got to have a diverse representation. Like I don't think they would be into it, but that podcast Breaking Points, they used to be on The Hill.
Yeah.
I think they would be a good representation on like an actual cable news network, balanced political commentary that doesn't go any further than, hey, here are the facts. Hell, man, I would even give it to the Young Turks, man. Like, I widely disagree with almost all of their political stances, man. But I gotta respect the fact that they've been in this game long enough where they understand that there has to be a level of integrity to it, and that's why MSNBC is.
Yo, did you see Chunk or whatever? Chunk Yeager's his reaction to the 2016 election. It's famous of how he flipped the fuck out on camera.
It's infamous, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think he's professional, but maybe he's gotten himself together or whatever since. But.
Well, I think he's consistent. He's always been a progressive. I think he's consistent in that, and he was really frustrated with the way that the mainline Democrats ran the campaign. Right. And it's the same frustrations that he has with the way the Kamala campaign was run. He gave her props where there were props to be given. But as a progressive, he doesn't feel like they reach out to the progressive side of the table. They only use them the same way they use the black vote. And
they do not. Yeah, no, that's what and Bernie Sanders brought that up. And, I used to be your Bernie bro back in the day. And Bernie said, he said, of course, we lost this year's election. He's like, as long as the Democratic Party doesn't deal with the working class and offer things to the working class, you won't have anything, because we were founded by the working class and they will leave us if we don't offer them ways. And so he points out that, like, the Democratic Party used to be about like helping the wages of the working class, helping the unions, helping all these people, helping people get health care. And this year, none of those things were on the table.
Nope, not at all, man. But I'm ready to watch a British man talk about blue sky, man.
We're gonna talk about blue sky.
It's our last topic for the night. I know you wanted to vomit the minute you saw it, man. Have you opened a Blue Sky account yet? I know you're on there.
So I have.
Okay.
And so here's my argument. This is why this is a mirror. What we're about to see right now is a mirror of truth. What it is when a new app is there, a lot of people flock to it and are like, let me open an account. People are trying it out. It doesn't mean it's actually successful.
Right. So you're not worried about the status of X as of right now at all.
So I'm not, because when every day like people are pointing out like another celebrity leaves. The people who are leaving are like Alyssa Milano and you know what I mean, like people who gives a damn. Like Jane Fonda closed her account. Madonna closed her account. Oh, good thing I don't have to see all the freaking horrible battle damage from all the plastic surgery on Madonna. I don't care about any of these people. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, Black Twitter's still there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Clown World is still there. You know what I'm saying? There's all sorts of things that are still happening on Twitter that you're not gonna get in a safe space. Safe space, blue sky. As a matter of fact, I saw an example of it. Not someone I know, not a personal thing, but someone on making a video, and they said I joined Blue Sky. And then I said, there are only 2 genders, and I was immediately banned. And maybe he was just making a video. Maybe that was a clickbait video. But I'm saying, like, who wants to be on an app like that?
Not me, man. And I was perusing through it, man, and it is like a little utopic. Everyone's talking about their hikes and their pancakes and stuff like that. Like, maybe we're the toxic ones because maybe they just want a platform free of conflict. So you deny people the opportunity, Mantis, not to be in constant conflict. I do have to admit, being on X sometimes and like some weirdo account comes up and I'm like, well, why did I have to read this early in the morning? Oh, I clicked on it. I have the freedom not to click on these things as well.
Well, I admit, even in my in my feed, there were definitely things I'm like, here's what is old Twitter under the liberals.
Right.
Everything was pornography. Everything was pornographic. And so you'd look and you'd be like, oh, dude schlong, what's going on? And thank God that is gone, right? The pornography is gone, but now it's just people's stupid opinions, right? And so, like, for instance, here's an opinion I don't respect at all. I'll wake up and I'll like, what's going on? And someone will they'll have a picture of Obama. And I'm like, oh, Obama. Obama. And then I'll look over and then it'll say, let's admit, the worst president in human history. It's like, I'm not going to admit that. Why would I admit that? This is crazy. And I scroll on. And so I admit that's not great. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Seeing a random dude schlong out is far more traumatic than seeing someone criticize Obama.
You know what's crazy? On Instagram and X, man, there's a real push for 2 things in regards to the Obamas. 1, everyone wants me to believe that Michelle Obama is a man. And 2, everyone wants me to believe Barack is gay. And like at least 5 times a day, I'm inundated with videos of people like, irrefutable proof that Barack takes it. And I'm like,
So
oh my goodness.
I gotta tell you something.
Right.
And so this will make you look differently. So during his presidency, second term, there was a reporter who lived in the White House for like 2 months.
Right.
And the whole point is he was trying to gather all this stuff for this article about how they live their lives. And he did it. And it was a fine article and people love him and respect him or whatever. And many years later, he said, okay, now I think enough years have passed. This is something Barack said to me, which I wasn't going to put in my article, but I'll say it now. And supposedly, Barack Obama said to this guy that when he was in college, he used to have sexual dreams about men.
Okay. Let me just mirror something back to you, right?
Okay.
Now, I want to take that statement and let's examine it. Once upon a time, a poor child ascended to the highest office in the land and became the most powerful, at least figurehead, in this very country. And after going through the birther allegations, after being defamed every chance he could be, to the point where people had Googled the N-word in White House so much that that's what came up first when you typed his name. The most powerful man who ordered the most drone strikes in American history, right, sat down with a reporter and said, hey, so how's your cheese sandwich? By the way, I used to have dreams about having sex with men. And that person sat on that until the relevance of their article was no longer present and their own personal relevance was no longer present. And then all of a sudden says, oh, by the way, this is something he said to me over tea and crumpets.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because you know what? That aligns with what I said earlier about women and their, not just women, people's accusations
right
about people years later. You are right that like they probably want another article out of this. They want something out of it.
I would much rather attack Barack Obama for his antichrist and antithetical policies towards Christianity rather than Michelle Obama really named Michael in way that they
that's horrible. That's a horrible vicious.
It's a horrible thing. But yeah,
I just think that's horrible when they say that stuff.
Yeah, you got the British guy pulled up, man. You're not gonna get away. You're not gonna get away from this, man. Because you're gonna listen and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna admit the superiority of the vernacular of the Brits over Americans when it comes.
British people are the worst things that ever happened. You need to put them all in a ship and sink it.
Beck says
it's definitely not gone. The
pea corn.
Oh, the pea corn is still there. I feel you, Bex. I feel you.
Wait, Bex, how often would you say that pops up in? Wait, Bex, is your X algorithm not as carefully curated as your TikTok? Bex has bragged multiple times that her TikTok algorithm is perfectly curated for Black Princess Core material and only that.
But there's nothing else you want in there? What if you get tired of that? What if you want to see something else?
Hit it.
What if you want to feel like you have others? I don't know.
Twitter is on life support and Blue Sky is ascendant. But what the hell is Blue Sky? Why is everyone so obsessed with it? And is it any good? How exactly did Elon manage to break Twitter this quickly? Well, we have all the info you need and more on this episode.
First criticism. He's British. He's clearly liberal. And let's be honest. It's not a girlfriend waiting for him at home.
Why? Is it because of the mustache? Is it because of the cop stash?
He definitely, he's definitely queer coded. Am I right? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, normal Democrat, basically, right here, right? a beta male trying to convince you of something that's inequitable. Let's go on.
Episode of Scroll Deep with me, benedicttown.bsky.social, the show that keeps up with internet nonsense so you don't have to. Blue Sky is the word of the week. It's the thing everyone is talking about and debating, but what the hell is it? Well, it's a social media site that was officially launched in 2023. It's brand spanking new, and it's a competitor to Twitter. And in fact, it basically just is Twitter. You open it, and it's Twitter, but without all the weird changes that Elon Musk has brought in, such as making it an everything app, and also calling it X. Now, we'll get to those crazy changes in a sec, but before
so actually, let's talk about those changes real quick. So basically what he's saying is all the improvements he did where you can upload videos and you've got Twitter Spaces. None of those added things are there. So it's primitive Twitter without any of these added benefits.
Yes. I just logged into Blue Sky and the first thing I see is so glad I left Florida, and there's a sign of President Donald J. Trump Avenue. Next one is I'm anti-Trump because I'm anti-stupid. Now, if it's true, because I also saw that report you were referring to about someone posting something pro-Trump and they got banned from the place instantly. How is this not inflammatory and violent language? Not
because obviously this place, leans one way. But here's what I'm saying. Do you think that someone's entertainment value is going to maintain from that?
No, absolutely not.
Just a bunch of stupid, bad memes about Trump. Even a leftist won't stay for that.
They might, bro. I don't know, man. People love cooking.
I have a family member who's super left. They do not. They said they tried it and they're like, it's just a bunch of people insulting Trump. I don't need this. I'm going back to X. And they went back to
X. So I can insult Trump there and get a response.
Right. You want to insult Trump and have someone engage you and be like, you moron. But let's see what this Bridtard has to say.
that, I am legally required to tell you that Scroll Deep is on Blue Sky. And that's the main place we'll be skeeting from. Skeeting, not tweeting on Blue Sky. So if you were looking for a new place to yell "That's tennis" at us, then that's the place. That's tennis. All right. So someone.
Wait, what is That's tennis?
I have no idea.
British beta-ism. That's what it is.
Made a Twitter clone. Who cares? Well, in the wake of the US election, Blue Sky has rocketed, gaining 1 million users in a week, and now they're apparently gaining 10,000 new users every 15 minutes.
Yo, I'm saying that was.
You can just look to the charts.
That
At the
was
moment,
truth,
Blue
and that
Sky
was
is
part.
number one on the app chart, and it has been there steadily for like a week, which is pretty impressive. Whereas Threads is number 4, and then X is like in the 80s or something. Part of that is that the site started as invite only to sort of drum up excitement, but now anyone can join, so it's just getting flooded. And it wasn't so much that everyone wanted to be on Blue Sky, so much as everyone no longer wanted to be on X, the everything app. Because it really is quite stunning how much Elon Musk has broken that site in just a year and a half. He constantly pushes accounts he likes, including himself, to the front of your feed, no matter who you follow. I mean, it's basically impossible to open X, the everything app, and not see some of the most racist, angry stuff you've ever seen. Also, he completely demoted links.
Really don't
so
see
if
any
you're,
racism
for example,
on X,
a video news service and you want to share your YouTube links, X will just completely punish you for that. And here's the thing, right? You can make a site like that if you want. You can't be shocked if a lot of people don't want to see that all the time. Like, I don't want to log onto a social media site and just be mad or sad. And there was a bit of a gold rush after the election where many users were looking to get away from X, the everything app, and find a new home. Part of that also was that Elon is like so insanely in the tank for Trump, and even displayed like a huge vote for Trump banner on the US Twitter homepage on election day, which at the very least is just incredibly tacky. So a lot of people who left X, the everything app, initially went to Threads, which is Instagram's attempt at a Twitter clone, but quickly they all realized that Threads kind of sucks. Threads is boring. It kind of feels like Facebook. Like a lot of it is just like engagement bait. It's literally stuff like there'll be a picture of like an easy equation, and it'll be like 90% of people can't solve this equation. Everyone's like, boo, this sucks. So then everyone refled from Threads to Blue Sky and seemed to like what they found. There's also a kind of a weird phenomenon that a lot of these extreme far-right accounts that are popular on X are now trying to join Blue Sky and are getting banned immediately, which is so wild to me because it's like, guys, you won. You won Twitter. You got the whole site. Twitter is built for you. It's a site where you can be as offensive as you want. You can say whatever you want. You can be rewarded for it. You can actually make money for it. But they still want to be on Blue Sky because the problem is these people don't know how to exist without people to annoy. That's the point of them. They're trolls. They don't want to just have conversations and just ask questions. They want to annoy liberals.
I'm going to watch it.
When the Joker is like, I don't want to kill you. What would I be without you? You complete me. And the point a lot of people have been making on Blue Sky is that when Trump made Truth Social, do you remember Truth Social? It still exists. It's Trump's social media site, right? When Trump made Truth Social, which is an actual echo chamber, by the way, a full-on echo chamber. Left-wing people didn't rush there and start like talking about pronouns or whatever. Everyone was like, okay, you have your Trump space. I'm not interested in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one was like, I have to be over there having arguments about Trump. They were like, fine. And that word echo chamber that I brought up, that is very much the term of the week. A lot of the discussion, you know, is this a left-wing echo chamber where voices aren't allowed to be heard? People don't want an echo chamber. That's why people left X. Because X is an echo chamber.
X is not an chamber. Okay, so this is why this guy's an idiot.
It's a site completely built around.
And he's lucky he lives in the UK because I would mess him up. So,
you made it longer than I thought you would, man. I was just like,
I want him to get to the point where, I want to have some points to point out about something he does in the future of the video. But here's what I'm saying: it's not an echo chamber because both sides were forced to be there. We didn't have any other apps to go to, so by definition, it's not an echo chamber. There's both left and right in there. Yeah. Blue Sky is an echo chamber because they ban anyone with right-leaning thoughts.
So I agree with your first assessment that anything new, anything shiny is going to be where people go. And you know what? Let liberals have their space. Actually, I don't really care to engage unless they're willing to engage in a respectful way and like we can get into it. But this site won't last any longer than freaking than Threads. It'll start to wind down because it's a two-sided coin. People want to be able to engage and have conversation. And in fact, the problem is X has existed long enough where there's still enough people on there to push up engagement, right? I don't see Grace Randolph closing her account, right? I don't see people like that closing their account. Yeah, it's right. It is a bunch of B-lister celebrities, man.
Yeah, and actually, Grace has commented on it.
What did she say?
People like, you're gonna be on Blue Sky, right? And she's like, I made an account. And she's like, I keep forgetting to post on there. And she's like, I'm so used to X, I'm fine with X. And she's a super lib. I was gonna say libtard, which I don't think I'm allowed to say. So, a lefty. There we go. So she's a super lefty, and so if she's comfortable, and like I said, I have this family member who's extreme left. She couldn't deal with it, and so she's back on X. I'm gonna stay on X, but here's the thing: I think that this is the same fad that is Threads. Same thing that was Parler.
Right.
People just flocked to. Remember, actually, True Social, when it first came out, for the first like 2 weeks, it was dominating the charts because people were curious.
Right.
But I don't think this has what. I don't think anyone politically, when it's a politically motivated app, I don't think people are going to stay on it.
Not at all, man. Not at all. I was thinking about this, and I know we're going to be closing out here pretty soon, man. Here's why I'm not going to engage with anything on Blue Sky, right? It's because they want you to come over there. That's the part that this guy doesn't address, right? That's what Joy Reid doesn't address, and all this like separate and consequences for your vote and all that type of stuff, man. They want you to engage with them, because if it was true that you're just not going to engage anymore, you wouldn't have said anything. You would have walked right out, and that would have been that. But to make an exit speech and to make an exit post and all that type of stuff, it's like those people on Spoon who are like, I won't be streaming.
Right, exactly. They want the attention gardener from it. They're not really making a statement.
No, not at all, man.
Wait, no, we're not going to turn away from this.
Oh no,
because I need him to do something. Hold on.
Around the extreme whims of one extreme substance. No, they're not Twitter, which is so to have that many users, like a really small percentage of the.
So this is the thing I want everyone to see. Oh, and so he's making an argument why Twitter doesn't have a ton of daily users or something, right?
Right.
And so I'm going to read it for our crew right here. Facebook at number 1 for 3.049 million users a day. YouTube, I can't believe YouTube is under Facebook.
Right.
For 2.4 right million. Instagram 2 million. WhatsApp 2 million. TikTok 1.5 million. WeChat, and he keeps going on, right? He's going on. He even has Telegram, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, and then check this out. Douyin.
I've never even heard of that.
And do you know what Douyin is?
No.
Douyin is the Chinese TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And he labeled that. And the next one is the Kuashu, which is also some sort of Chinese app, and Sina Weibo, which is also some sort of Asian app. And so he has them listed on there. And I'm like, why is he listing Asian sites? Which is just further proof that he's some sort of Chinese plant. They pay him for his propaganda. The Chinese would like nothing more than to destroy the great Elon Musk.
Yes. They don't want any automotive competitors, China, and
so they're like, let's get this beta British man with a cold to try to discredit him. But his argument in the first place is that X isn't good because it doesn't reach Facebook. But let's face it, mad people have Facebooks and nobody uses it.
It comes pre-installed on most smartphones. So does X. But here's the thing. These are wildly different apps. So if we remove Facebook, YouTube is a wildly different app than X, right? It's had the market share in regards to video content for quite some time. Telegram and WhatsApp should be in their own category because they're messaging apps.
I agree.
And then, of course, if you haven't worked in tech, WhatsApp is primarily used by people migrating to America or from America to speak to people outside the country without absorbing huge data rates on their mobile bill. That's
and
what
it's and let's face it, it's also a place for Nigerian scammers.
It's true,
and that's why I won't you. When people are like, "Yo, you on WhatsApp?" No, I am not. I do not feel like I do not feel like to be the Nigerian scammed.
You know, funny, WhatsApp came out in response to what used to be the most exclusive messaging app for what was the most exclusive phone at the time until the iPhone stomped it out of existence. The BlackBerry had its own messaging service, and no one else could message there unless you had a BlackBerry. And I used to get super mad at my friends who had BlackBerries because they're all in their secret little BlackBerry chat. Well, now your phone is buried and you can't do anything with it.
No, I'm not gonna front. I used to have a Crackberry back in the early 2000s. Once again, that's the early 2000s. Let's grow up, people. Let's grow the fuck up.
The crazy thing about this, man, wildly different apps, and they serve wildly different purposes, man. X has cornered the market for what it is. I do think that Elon needs to continue on growing it in a video platform, and that's the direction that it needs to go into, right? And I think it can compete with YouTube if done correctly. If not, then it'll just remain where it's at and it will survive because no one's mass leaving Twitter, right? I guarantee you the 20 million people that are on Blue Sky, I guarantee it, and this is conjecture on my part and opinion, but I'm willing to bet if there was honesty introduced to it, those people still have active X accounts and X is still installed on there.
Absolutely.
So that's what I got on that one, big guy. Did you have fun tonight, man?
I had an amazing time. Always a good time with you, brother.
Always a good time, man. Very good time, folks. Mantis has been kind enough to let me do the raps, but he's going to read some comments here. Go ahead, man.
Awesome, man. I was thinking to have both of you on simultaneously, but it was last minute. I feel you. Well, DT Dubs is saying we should have another religious stream over on his Rumble account. And so, I'm sorry I missed it. I didn't even know you were going on live with them.
No, it was a good time, man.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to watch the hell out of that.
Secretly, I was a little nervous at first, not because of the topic, but because you just want to convey the message correctly, right? And because I know my ops are everywhere and they're watching everything I say and they're just waiting for the day that I slip up, but it ain't coming. It's not coming. You guys,
I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and please don't tell me right now because I want to be surprised. I want to listen to it because I have some serious thoughts on this one. But
yeah. Make sure you tell a friend how to tap into RizRadio.com on the channel that was formerly known as Fight Juice Online, which will be Riz Radio soon.
Any day now.
And also make sure you download the Live 365 app. Look for Riz Radio. Go check us out on RizRadio.com, though. I prefer if you go over there, read the blogs, support the website, man. Help this thing grow to enormous places. We want to be in an Elon situation where people were just threatening to leave in the million.
Elon is going to take us to Mars, and he's going to have some official DJs, and it's going to be you and me. And we're going to be entertaining people at night on the ship.
Listen, man, I'm not going to be Elon's bus boy. I know how this
it's
story.
Not a bus boy. You're a DJ, man. You need to spin songs and speak, man. Speak your mind. And none of that, man. There's going to be so much tail on that ship. It's going to be amazing.
It's been great talking to you guys.
Oh wait, right. Yeah, I'm saying for us unmarried people. But you can do it, God bless you.
Soulless clones to service you.
Where can the people find you?
People can find me on RizRadio.com Sunday nights and Thursday nights for Mic Check. The only place you need to go for hip hop commentary, or you can find me on Instagram at the Hold Up TV, man.
And I am the Fat Mantis, of course, Monday through Thursday. You can catch me on Fanboy Modeling School, our recap over on 6 to 10 p.m. on our show, on our station. And I've got some news for you guys. I will be switching places. My Sunday show, Burn Your Degree, will now be taken over by Jesse Sugar. And instead, I will be doing the top 40 countdown We're going to call it the Top of Bob's Countdown every Friday at 6 p.m. And so it's going to be amazing. You need to check me out. I'm starting now, and starting tomorrow, we're going to Christmify our station, man. That's Christmas stuff. All the best hits, all the best music, and it's all going to be in the Christmas spirit, guys. You need to check us out on Riz Radio. You can find us at rizradio.com or Live 365 app or wherever digital radio is found.
Peace.
Ciao for now. Peace.